Okay, welcome you guys. It is Monday, May 19th, pretty much the middle of the month. My name is Christy Brune, and I am the Global on our team, and I'm excited that you guys are here tonight. And those of you that are going to listen later, this is going to be a good call. I can just feel it. If you haven't, the first thing I want to bring up is if you haven't seen it, that we posted this morning that Kim Fisk, our presidential director on our team, did a call today, kind of focused it on the middle of the month stuff and how to do tracking volume and just how to finish out the month strong. That makes me think too that I was talking to one of my coaches today and I said, you know what? I said, let's pretend, because next Monday, oh, that's another thing. Next Monday is Memorial Day. So we will not have a Monday night training on Memorial Day. We'll probably move it to Tuesday or something. I haven't really decided. But let's pretend that this is the last week of the month. Because if you do that, if you get in action this week, like this is the last week of the month, last week of the month, you're going to do more this week than you would normally do, right? So get it done. Let's do it. Pick up the phone, get that done like it's the last week. And then on Memorial Day, you can go, woohoo! I did a really good job last week. I can just take Monday off and chillax and have time with my family and friends. So that's what I would like to posture to everybody is let's pretend this is the last week of the month and go hit it strong. And if you need help, get with your mentor coach. You have goals that you're striving for. Let's get them this week. Let's get it done this week. Then you'll have almost a whole week to see all your smileys that you're working towards. So, okay. So listen to that recording of Kim's calls today that she did today soon, as soon as you can. And the number is posted in Dreamweavers. If you can't find it or don't know, then just ask your mentor coach, and we'll be happy to give that to you. Okay, so tonight's call is going to be all about client support because the last two calls we worked on, this is just goes next. So you got your client, so how the heck do I support them? I'm just going to go, some of this is going to be just touching base again on a couple things, but when you place your client's first order, it should always be, unless there's a circumstance that you've talked to your mentor coach about, it should always be around $350 and sometimes closer to $400 depending on the tax, because Kansas has tax, some other states don't, on food. And that includes the Habits of Health book and workbook, as well as Digestive Health on their first order. Okay? If you think you are helping your client out by getting them less, you're not. You're really not. You want to posture yourself as the professional, okay? You know what's best for them, and you're going to take care of them. And if you posture it that way, you shouldn't have any trouble. They will trust you. You're going to get them, a wide variety of foods, so they're not stuck with just 10 things to try. You want them to have enough to try, and what if they don't like some stuff, to set it aside and still keep going. And the digestive health, to be very honest, I get that on all of my clients' first orders because I don't want them to have tummy trouble. And it's very possible that they could. I tell them that, and you can use this if you want to, I tell them that I always get my clients the digestive health on their first order because when you get started on the program, you're going to be adding extra fiber to your diet because every replacement meal has fiber. All the vegetables have fiber. And the protein that we use comes from a bean. Get my drift? So usually they chuckle. And I said, so the probiotic and the digestive health is specifically formulated to work with the meals to help cut down on that, as well as there's a digestive enzyme that goes along with it, and that's just going to help you absorb the 24 vitamins and minerals in your meals and all your vegetables that you're eating much better into your system. It's just going to give you the best possible outcome that first month. And if you find that you don't have any tummy trouble, you don't have to take it again the second month. But I'd hate for you to have any kind of upset stomach and not be able to, not want to continue. So I do that. Something else I always ask them to is when I'm signing them up is, do you have a buddy? Like, who it's really fun to do with someone. So who can you think of in your world that might want to start with you? Or I use this too. Who's going to be mad at you in a month that you've lost weight, you're feeling great, and you left them in the dust and didn't share? Like, who is that? And a lot of times, even if they don't give you a name right then and there, they'll think and they'll be searching for you. And right there, you might get your first referral. And let them know right out of the gate, too, that if you do have someone in your world that you think would like to do this with you, I do give referral credits. Now, that's up to you, whatever you want to do. I give $25 referral credits to any client that refers a friend or a family member, and then that client signs up and becomes a client. They get $25 cash on account towards their next order. But let me put this little disclaimer in there. I do not just go ahead when I sign them up and give them that referral credit right away. I wait until at least they're 2 weeks into the program, the new client. I know they're doing well, and I know they're not going to return the food, because I've gotten burned once, and I don't want you guys to go through that either if you don't have to. So just wait a couple weeks, make sure that the new client is doing well, and then you can give the referral credits. And you do that by going to your where you order your food from your coach, so your coach's website, whatever it is, .tsfl.com. And then on the left-hand side, you'll find, you'll scroll down, you'll find cash on account. Then all you'll need is the referring client's ID number, and then you put in the amount, and it adds it to your cart. So pretty simple, and it's automatic. So as soon as you add it, it's on their account. After you sign someone up, make sure that on their profile sheet that you write down their user ID, or their client ID number, and their username and password on their profile sheet. And I highlight that just because if I ever have to call in for them to client services, they'll ask, the first thing they ask is, what's your client's ID number? So then you'll have it handy. And then I also always want to have their username and password wrote down, so that if I ever have to go in and help them with their order, change it for them or anything, I have that information right there handy, so I can get into their account, change their date or whatever I need to. Then you're going to send the welcome email to your client after you sign them up, and also add them to our Facebook group and welcome them. So they're in there. Then you're going to do a pre-start call with them. So I always tell them, okay, now when you get your stuff, give me a call, because I want to go over everything with you and make sure that we get you off and running on the best start that we can. And when I do the pre-start call, I really take them through the quick start guide and paying special attention to the lean and green, and explaining that 5 ounce, 6 ounce, and 7 ounce portions, the healthy fats, how it's a cooked weight, and making sure on the vegetables too that they're aware of that bold paragraph above the big red letters that says we eliminate the starchiest vegetables. So no carrots, corn, peas, potatoes, and just show them where that is. And then also explain about how it's 3 servings of vegetables. Some people kind of short themselves on the veggies. So explain all that, explain the healthy fats, what that is, your condiments, your optional snacks. Just walk them right through that little quick start guide. And that's a perfect pre-start call. And then you're going to set up a time to call them, because you're going to check in on them at first, at least 3 days, possibly 4, just because that's when they're going to have the most questions. And they really need you right then. And so set those times up for them so you know when the good time is to call. So then also something else I want to is, so that's kind of different than what I'm going to say now, but when I have a new client, my office hours don't really pertain. Like I have a new client, I got to check in on that client, whether it's in my office hours or not, because that's what I'm going to do. But for everyone else, it's already a week in, 2 weeks in, whatever. I tell my clients what my office hours are, meaning those are the best times to reach me by phone. It's not the only time they can call me. They can call me, they can text me, they can email me. But if we're trying to get in touch with each other over the phone, the best time for them to reach me is, whatever my hours are, which is the best part about this job. You set your own hours. So do what works for you. But that's a very good thing moving forward, because maybe you only have a handful of clients now and you're like, yeah, it's no big deal. I can be available whenever. The sooner you do it, the sooner you're going to train your clients is when you're available and when the best time is to call you that works for you. Then let's say we're calling them on their first week weigh-in, okay? We're going to ask them, what are we celebrating this week? How'd you do? Of course, they're excited because they had a good week, right? Most everybody, not all, but most everyone has a really good week their first week. 5 pounds, 7 pounds, heck, 15 pounds, some people, depending on how much they have to lose overall. One of the things that I want to remind you guys to do is, even on that very first week, they're excited. They're telling people something, right? Even if nobody's noticing yet. So right away that first week, I will just ask. I know it's early, but has anybody noticed yet? Like, are people asking what you're doing? And listen. Listen to what they say. And a lot of times they'll say, yeah, I had my friend Susie. She noticed my face was thinner already this week. And so she asked me what I was doing. I said, awesome, that's so exciting. So what did you tell her? And 99% of the time, they're going to say Medifast. Or maybe Take Shape for Life. So right then and there, I just remind them, because I've already told them in the beginning about getting a buddy and referrals. I just remind them, oh, okay, well, that's awesome. We love Medifast. We love Take Shape for Life. However, it's best. Remember that referral credit I told you about? If any of your friends or family want to know what you're doing, it's best to just send them my way and give them my information and just say, you know what? It's a great program. I have an awesome coach, and her name's Christy. Here's her information. Give her a call. She can explain it all, because I'm afraid I'll screw it up. Because if they say Medifast or Take Shape for Life, people are going to go Google, and, which is fine, but then they're going to maybe sign up without me, you won't get the referral credits. And I just posture that from the beginning. Because what I find is that even though we have the best of intentions, a new client is most likely to talk to you on the phone that first month. And then after that, it's kind of hit and miss sometimes. Some people are great and they'll continue to check in and do phone calls with you. Other people will just listen to your voicemail and maybe text you back. So that's why it's important in the beginning to just let them know that and kind of teach them how to do that. Also, the weekly habit of health. You guys should all be getting that from your coach, but also I send it out team-wide. When you get that, that is like, this week is mindfulness, I believe. When you get that, that is something that you want to send to your clients. And when you send it to your clients, then please remember to BCC, put your coach's email address in the BCC box. That lets us know that you had time to support your clients this week with that email. Because if we don't see that, we're going to assume that maybe you're too busy, maybe life got in the way, and we'll go ahead and send it for you. So unless you want us to send it for you, please BCC us so that we know that. It's not to take your clients, it's to help you and to help your clients, because we are a team. Okay? The little reminders that you guys get for your clients, the 7-day and 4-day order reminders, you should, as a very nice thing for a coach to do, is to forward that on to your client and just write a little personal note with it, like, hey, Susie, just wanted to make sure you saw this and got your changes made. If you have any questions, please give me a call. I'm happy to help. Or if you want any, if they're new, like if you want any suggestions for new things to try, let me know. I'm happy to help you. That's just a really nice added touch, because some of that email might go to their spam if it's from the company. So if it comes from you, plus they know you have their back, and that just is another layer of trust for you, which is really good. I want to talk a little bit too about the client support groups. That we have 2 of them, so it's either Shape Up or you're in Happy and Healthy. When you add your client to that, I want you to think about this. Don't use it as daycare. Now, I'm not pointed at anyone on this call or anyone that's listening to the recording or watching the recording, but just think about this. Let's say that you drop your kids off at daycare and they're going, oh, what am I doing here? You know, and you don't come back, and they're lost and they don't know why they're there. They don't feel comfortable there. They probably don't interact there. So don't use it as a daycare, okay? If you're going to drop your kids off at this daycare, come back and check on them. Like, check it daily. You can do it from your phone. It doesn't take very long. Like, make sure that your coach or your clients see you engaging in your client site, you know, welcoming people, encouraging people. They're going to see how much you love coaching and how much you are engaged, and that's going to make them feel welcome and more safe, and they'll start to interact more. So, and also, if you drop somebody off in the client site, you want the other coaches to welcome them for you, right? So if you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, kind of thing. So just help everybody out, you know. And if somebody else's client is asking a question and you know the answer, you can answer it. It's fine. We're a team. So just know that. Let's talk about any questions about that so far. You'll have to unmute yourself if you do. Okay, so now let's talk about real quickly clients that maybe have reached their goal and now they're transitioning. You're not done coaching. Transition is still a tricky little part that people are scared of. I want you to still talk to them weekly. Okay, walk them through week by week. Like the first week, we're going to add the extra vegetables, you know, and walk them through that. Give them ideas if they need some. And if you don't know, it's okay. Ask your mentor coach. If your mentor coach doesn't know, it's okay. She'll ask her mentor coach or him. We work as a team. I think I've said that enough. So talk to them weekly. And then once they're in maintenance, you're not done either. You're still going to put them on your monthly list. You want to check in with them voice to voice monthly when they're on maintenance, just to see how they're doing. They may not call you back because they're rocking it out, but you won't know. You want them to still know that you care and that you're there for them. But it's really not your job what your job is to really plug them into all the tools and all the resources that are available to them as a client. I mean, they have, you know, our weekly calls, like the doctor's call, the nurse's call, the Habits of Health call. We have the Habits of Health book and workbook. There's so much out there. The Shape Up group, there's so much out there just to plug them into. You don't have to do it for them. I hope that makes sense. Just plug them in. That's your job. You don't have to have all the answers, but plug them into where they can find those answers and help them find them. Another thing that may cause a little rift sometimes is when you're coaching your friends and your family and you're on the phone for like 20 minutes, half an hour. Oh my God, Aunt Gertrude talked to me for an hour, right? Okay, we can't do that, right? So if you are calling a friend or a family member or somebody that's very chatty that you know, call them up and posture right off the bat. Say, hey, Susie, this is Christy. I got my coach hat on today. Just calling to do our check-in. And let them know that this is a coaching call, so it's going to be short. And if they want to gab after and you have time, then say, okay, I can put my friend hat on or my niece hat on or whatever it is. But if you don't, just say, I'll have to call you back later and we'll have to catch up because I have more client calls to make tonight. And they'll understand that. They will understand that. Also, as the more clients you get, there's a paper way to keep track and there's electronic. So do what works for you, but make sure that you are taking notes about when you talk to your clients so that next week you can refer back to your notes and remember what you talked about. Maybe they were going on a trip. Maybe they had a wedding, whatever it is. But so that shows that you care and that you were really listening to them. And when you have a lot of clients, that's hard to remember. So start now by just taking notes, and that will just really show them that you really care and you took an interest in what they were doing, and they're going to appreciate that. Again, building that layer of trust. Then I would like to talk just a little bit about empathetic coaching, because you're going to hear this a lot if you haven't already. To be a good health coach and support your clients, you have to be empathetic. You have to listen, like really listen. And then try to feel it. You can't, it's a skill. So try to really feel like walking in their shoes, what that would feel like when they're telling you things. And almost like picture yourself putting your hand on their shoulder and being there and really listening to someone. When you show that compassion and concern, you are building trust. You are building a relationship. And that's what we do. We're in the people business. We have to care about people for them to trust us. And when you're doing that with empathetically, your job is really not to fix what's wrong, but to redirect them. So redirect them to the tools, to the resources that they have available to them. And remind them the only way they're going to fail is if they fall down and they don't get back up. Like it's not, if that's their situation, just redirect them to their thinking and everything like that. Redirect them as best you can. And also be fully present on your client calls. So if you're calling Susie, I use her a lot, don't be on Facebook. Don't be, do people balance their checkbooks anymore? Don't be doing other stuff or a puzzle with the kids. Like, be fully present, because they're going to know if you're not. Again, another layer of trust. I didn't even know I was going to say all that, but it's just coming out. When you're fully present too, you can actually really get a sense of meeting them where they are and taking them where they want to go, but at their speed. Okay? Our program is not the 5-in-1. That's a part of it that they can do, but that's not the only way to get healthy. Our program is really learning the healthy habits for life. And so we can do that with a 5-in-1 and get them there quicker, but maybe that's not a good fit for them. So maybe they can do the 4-in-2. Maybe the 3-in-3 is better for them. But you're never going to know that unless you really hear and learn from what they're saying, and then take them at their speed. If they're okay going slower and that works for them, you know what? Hallelujah. At least we're going in the right direction. Just because you can't do the 5-in-1, that does not mean you're a failure. I hope that makes sense, because that's kind of big. And people are tired of being told what to do. So nobody needs another boss or another teacher. They just need a guide, someone that they can trust and admire, and again, build that relationship with them. And if you do that, that will move them right into being a fully integrated client, and they're going to succeed. They are going to succeed. I have more here, but we're getting short on time. The last thing I'm just going to close with, and then I'll open it up for questions, is if you guys haven't heard of, and I need to post this Prezi so you guys can watch it, but a client story call. They're very powerful. And this is something that you do with your mentor coach. And it can be done, I like this wording instead, is a client spotlight call. And you tell your client that they are doing so awesome and you're so excited for them that you're going to spotlight them this week. And you would love their coach to hear their story. Okay? Now, there's so many things that can come out of this. But the best thing that comes out of it is just that client feels support from even another person and knows that there's another layer there for them to grasp onto. Not their coach is awesome. It has nothing to do with that. It's just another layer of support that maybe the client didn't even realize was there. And also sometimes it's kind of like when you tell your mom something and you don't really tell her all the details, but then your best friend's mom comes over and you spill your guts and mom didn't even know all this stuff, and the best friend's mom can give you advice and help you out and stuff. That happens all the time with client story calls. So the client, obviously, the coach is the mom, and then the mentor coach would be the best friend's mom. So it's really kind of cool to see that. It helps the client. The client feels special. They're spotlighted that week. And it also edifies the coach, because everything I say or the mentor coach says, the coach has already said. So if the client didn't hear it the first time, they're going to hear it a second time and go, she or he knew what they were talking about, I guess, because so-and-so said it again. I guess I should listen to my coach. So I just think they're very powerful. So that is something that I would really like to see everyone do, a client spotlight call with one of their clients once a week. Just pick one. Now, if they're brand new, just getting started, that's probably not the best time to do it. So you might want to wait, 2, 3, 4 weeks into it and do that. Just because you give them a little time, but it's a great layering piece for everyone. So on that note, let's open it up for questions or comments. Anything that wasn't clear or want more clarity on. Crickets.
Christy, I really liked your analogy of the best friend's mom, or maybe like an aunt or something, because, because you're my mentor coach, we've been doing a lot of these, and I have heard a lot of things that I didn't know, and not bad stuff, just they didn't tell me. And so I've also learned some things about how to say things a little bit differently, or, even picked up some tips of, if someone's getting bored with their lean and green, some things that they can do. But I didn't even know the client was getting bored with their lean and green. So it is really helpful to every once in a while have those clients do those calls, because you learn a ton, and somebody who might be on the edge of, maybe not continuing because they don't want to reach out and ask for help, they might get remotivated after hearing from someone else who, builds them up. And I just have to say it's made a huge difference for me to listen in on those too.
Yeah, good. It is. It's a little coaching too. Absolutely. You can learn from your mentor what they would say, and they might say the same thing and use different words, and very cool. And it's fun for the mentor coach too to meet your clients, and hear their stories, and that is, and edify you and build you up in their eyes, and it's a win-win all the way around.
Totally agree.
Anything else? Okay. That's all she wrote then. Okay, well, thank you guys for being on.